SpongeBob Battle for Bikini Bottom Rehydrated is a rare indulgence, a return to a genre far past its heyday. Luckily for the game's fanbase, Rehydrated does right by its 2003 source material by preserving the magic that turned this 3D licensed collectathon into a cult classic. Yet it does it an even greater disservice by never looking past what its predecessor accomplished. I have no real connection to the original release of this game or SpongeBob as a whole. However, thanks to the industry's inexplicable disinterest in 3D platformers, Rehydrated became a must-play title for me because of how much I fucking adore collectathons. So my entire enjoyment of the title was hinging on its over a decade old game mechanic, because while the game's exterior received a loving 2020 upgrade, everything under the hood is pulled straight from 2003. The game's mechanics and overall design have obviously been left painfully untouched, and honestly it's a bit disappointing to see just how hell-bent the game is on being nothing more than a shinier version of itself, because despite the age, the game is a hell of a fun time. Rehydrated fulfills childhood fantasies by giving the player free reign of a bikini bottom that absolutely radiates a playful charm that kept me pushing forward, excited to see what the game would throw at me next. Whether I was jumping around jellyfish fields or beating the shit out of a robotic pack trick, the game was always offering me more to do. As soon as I would finish collecting 10 steering wheels for a giant pufferfish, a giant crab would need my help with his lasers. Luckily, the majority of what is on offer here is a fun time, thanks to controls that do what they need to do, get the player from A to B without much of a fight. The platforming itself never gives off any signs of its age, because it's one of the things that stands the test of time with this game. Jumping around, smashing robots with special moves taught to SpongeBob from a bubble with a hat feel fun and engaging. Yet it's when the game deviates from that core loop of jumping around collecting underwear that things begin to show a little wear and tear. In my second sitting with the game, I ran across the first of the game's many mini-games. It was also the first of the many times the game would manage to frustrate me beyond belief. This frustration stems from how tedious these segments can be to progress through because of floaty mechanics and just plain bad design. This is honestly design that should have been reworked. These mechanics feel ancient, and sadly they tarnish a core gameplay loop that I genuinely enjoyed. Yet the shortcomings don't just stop with its less than enjoyable minigames. The game has a litany of technical and performance issues. The game insists that a 10 to 15 second loading screen is necessary after each death. And then you often find the loading screen fighting with the death animations, because there is supposed to be a hand that grabs SpongeBob when he falls off a platform, and sometimes that animation will play, but sometimes it'll only play for one frame, sometimes it'll play for half the animation. It's wildly inconsistent when that loading screen pops in, and it makes it feel like an overall unpolished product. Yet none of these can compare to how disappointing it is that on the Nintendo Switch, the game cannot seem to handle anything more than just a few enemies on the screen without dropping its FPS. I found myself actively avoiding big groups of enemies, instead choosing to pick them off one by one or just plain ignoring them, because I was sick of the game's performance grinding to a halt for a few measly shiny objects. These are all glaring flaws that could not have been missed during development, but it seems that they weren't interested in putting any more work than necessary in order to repackage this at a budget price, which honestly is a huge disappointment, because the game has a lot of heart and its multiple characters are all diverse in how they play, allowing for pretty varied level design and activities for each. If given a little more love, this title could have been a hidden gem at a budget price. Yet, as is, Rehydrated acts as a breath of fresh air for a title beloved by such a passionate fan base. Honestly, in the end, I had a great time with Rehydrated. It was a fun 3D platformer, a collectathon, something I have not been able to experience for quite some time. I know I could have always played the original, but it's just really exciting to play a shiny HD collectathon. Anyways, thank you guys very much for watching my review. Hopefully, I've convinced some of you to go check this game out if you're a fan of platformers or SpongeBob. If you're not a fan of either, there's really not much for you to get out of this. But anyways, thank you guys so much for watching this. Please like, comment, and subscribe, and share. Anything you could do to support would be very much appreciated. But in the meantime, you guys have yourselves a great day.